Today on the No Pillz Podcast. But I almost lost love, almost didn't appreciate love, almost didn't know that I had found love. The owner's manual says, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Have you given up on love? Let's go. You're now listening to the No Pillz Podcast, your best resource for cultivating meaningful, healthy, long-lasting, romantic relationships that bloom into strong marriages. Welcome to No Pillz. Welcome to No Pillz. That's with a Z if you couldn't tell. Ha ha! Love, fully scripted. We back, beloved, in 2025. We still here. Your big brother, G-Man, God's man, your unk. We here. Brother Gordon, let's get it. Your love life is the vehicle. That vehicle comes with an owner's manual. That is the Bible. Come on. And God is the manufacturer. Happy to see y'all, man. Happy to be here back with you. Well, I can't see you, but you know what I'm saying. Happy that we're still in the same place. God took us through another year. 2024 is over. We are now in 2025. And I hope you have some New Year's resolutions, as we always do, things you're planning to do this year. I mean, some of you are going to become, multimillionaires this year. And some of you are going to get a house, car, land, take trips and all that jazz, but I hope eternity is in your plans for 2025. Because tomorrow is not promised to any man. We say we're going to do this or do that. Man, let us make sure we say, Lord willing, I shall do this or I shall do that. That's what James said. Brethren, if God be willing, we will get such and such done tomorrow or in this year. I'm happy to be back with you, friends. And I have a question for you. I want to come right out the gate with a question for you. Have you given up on love? Have you given up on love? Be honest with me. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to yourselves. The reason why I ask this question is because one bad relationship can make that happen. Am I lying? Am I telling a lie there? It can just persuade your mind, your thoughts along the path of I don't know about this love thing. Seeing other people, other married couples that have been married maybe for 20 years plus, after 20 plus years of marriage, then turn around and file for divorce or cheat, man, could have you thinking that love is not real. It can't be love. It's an impossibility. It's not possible with the human heart the way it is in these modern times. Maybe you've been drinking down that counterfeit love. Lust and sex that masquerades itself as love. Friends, abuse is not love. Come on. Abuse is not love. Money and gifts and flights and trips, that is not love. I would go as far as to say that even gifts and trips are a poor representation of even trying to manifest one's love to another person. Can I say that? Will you receive that into your spirit, into your mind? Have I gone too far with that type of thought, that type of conclusion? But in light of all of this out here, all the bad relationships, all the divorces, everything you see around you, if you get online for just a little while and you look at and hear some of the street interviews, the comments on the various podcasts of dealing with, I should say, relationships in our modern world and how modern men and women are thinking, it might completely have you believe that love is dead, that there is no hope. You need to just die single and at worst, live a life of fornication, adding to more destruction and more heartbreaking harm to your own life, into your own relationships, into your own mind. Does love still exist? Listener, I know that love still exists. I know without a shadow of a doubt that love still exists. And you say, Brother Gordon, how can you say that? In light of all these terrible mindsets and comments and ideas floating around in the world today, God is love. That's how I know. God is eternal. God is forever. And God is love. How do I know that love still exists? Not every married couple divorces. Not every marriage ends in failure. Come on. Some married people get married young and stay married until they die. And they die in their old age. Some married couples will be together 20, 40, 60 years. Sometimes die holding hands in the same bed. Sometimes one partner, one spouse will die, and but a day or two later, the other spouse will die from a broken heart. Friends, love still exists. I myself found love once, or maybe I should say it found me. I'm not too sure how that went, but I stumbled upon love. So for my own personal experience, I'm here to testify that love is real. You can find it. You can be found by it. I almost didn't recognize it. Come on, let me be honest with you. Let me be transparent with you. Not only did I almost not recognize it, I almost didn't appreciate it. And I almost lost it, friends. I almost lost it. I had the privilege of being married for almost 20 years, together with my wife, almost 18 years. This March, it'll be 4 years that she fell asleep in Jesus, fell victim to breast cancer. And it is better to have loved and to have lost than to have never loved at all, they say. But I'm fortunate as a Christian that I have the hope that I will see my friend, my best friend again in the resurrection. Only second to Jesus. What a hope, what a day, what a morning that will be. But I almost lost love, almost didn't appreciate love, almost didn't know that I had found love. The owner's manual says, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 11. I don't feel that I can ever circle back or cover this ground too much, too frequently on this podcast, friends. Because when you think love is sex, when you think love is debased passion, you've got it all wrong. When you think love is gifts and love is what you can do for me and how much you can spend on me, man, you're broken. You're twisted. When you think that the partner, the spouse, is supposed to fix you, you've got it all wrong. You're all messed up. This is why you need the owner's manual, friends. I would like to remind you, love is patient and kind. It does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing. but rejoices with the truth. It does not lie. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. Now you can think about this in another way. I could say it this way equivocally. Love is the principle of action. Love is the principle of action. Meaning, it modifies the character. It governs the impulses. It controls the passions, subdues hatred, and elevates and ennobles the affections. Friends, you're not going to get this nowhere else. Welcome to No Pillz, Love Fully Scripted. You're going to have to play this one back. You're going to have to play this one back because this is deep. This is heavy. This is love, friends. This is what love really looks like. So let me submit something to you. What if people are out here just marrying other people and are in relationships that God has not chosen for them? And thus they are having the bad outcomes that they're having. Or what if even in the marriages where God has brought the two individuals together, they fail or they refuse to live out the principle of love? Meaning they refuse to have their characters modified by the Holy Spirit or by the principle of love. They refuse to have love govern the impulses, to control the passions, to subdue hatred. They fight against being elevated and ennobled in the area of their affections, and therefore they are met with failure. What if that's the problem? What if love is love and perfect? It hasn't changed. It's eternal. It has been the same, will always be the same, but it's us. What if we are the problem? But isn't it good to know that there are individuals in our modern day society that are still experiencing love, that are still finding their partner, that are still being united in holy matrimony and will be together as long as life will permit them? What a thought, friends. All hope is not lost when it comes to love. The question is, will you and I choose to love? Will we choose to love? Not a feeling, but the principle of action. Will we choose it? If you're in a relationship, if you're in a courtship, if you're married, are you going to choose to love your spouse? In all situations, in all circumstances, in all the ups, all the downs, in the hills and in the valleys, will you choose to love? The owner's manual will teach you how to love, as you have noticed. It will teach you how to be a spouse. It will teach you how to identify a spouse. I just can't overemphasize this enough. God does not want us to have broken hearts. God does not want us to be in abusive relationships. God does not want us to be heartbreakers. No, friends. God desires us to be one flesh with our person, with the person that He's chosen for us, that we might experience, be able to practice and put into action the principle of love. But we oftentimes get deceived and diluted and delusioned by our lower passions and we want to do it our way. For death and the grave are never full, so the eyes of a man are never satisfied. This is where we find ourselves at. On the brink, on the borderline of true love, but looking behind us at the old man of sin. The grass is always greener over the septic tank. Are you content, my friend? Are you content? The owner's manual speaks to us just not about love, friends, but about friendships and relationships with others. In Proverbs 17, verse 17, we find out about true friendship. Before you become lovers with someone, usually you're friends first. And what's beautiful about the owner's manual is that before it even deals with romantic relationships, it deals with, well, not only does it deal with romantic relationships, but it deals with friendships and what true friendships look like. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Proverbs 17, verse 17. A brother is born for adversity. This verse speaks to the loyalty and the dependability of true friendships. Have you had the experience? Do you have that one person? Your road dog, your homie, your number one, your ace. A good friend is there in both the good times and the difficult times. This is what we're learning in Proverbs 17:17. I mean, born for adversity. What a statement to make. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Man, put that on a t-shirt. Yeah, I should put that on a t-shirt. We should put that on a t-shirt. Amen. Let's think. Proverbs 27, verse 17. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. Come on. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. What a principle here. Friends, the company you keep, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Birds of a feather flock together. If you're around people, if you have a friend that's not sharpening you and you're not sharpening him or her, then maybe you shouldn't be friends. This verse illustrates the mutual benefit of good friendships. If you're in a relationship, if you're in a friendship where it's only one direction, where it's only one person is being benefited out of that relationship, then I would question and submit to you that you're not in a friendship, but you're being taken advantage of. If the love and the resources constantly only flow in one direction and you're never getting anything back in return, not that you have to, but you should, because that's how love works. It should be a reciprocal relationship. True friends challenge and encourage each other to grow and become better. You don't want a bunch of yes men around you. You don't want people that are around you and friends, quote unquote, that are with you just for the benefits of being your friend, for the money, the resources, maybe the influence, etc. A true friend is going to encourage you to do better. Is going to encourage you to grow. Not just going to sit by and watch you crash and burn. I think about sometimes musicians and famous people who make it to the top of human worship, and they end up in drug addicted lifestyles, and their supposed friends that are with them don't even have enough love to tell them to get off the drugs, to make them better people. But they ride the wave of destruction with them, and then they die and they move on with their miserable lives. I can imagine. Because how could you watch a friend die and not say anything? Watch a friend unalive himself slowly or herself slowly and not say a word. Is that a friendship, friends? Have you got friends that are encouraging you to steal, take drugs, to fornicate, to live a wicked life? Is that really your friend? Are those really your friends? No, they are not. Let me answer that question for you in case you were struggling with that. You don't have a true friend. John 15, verse 13 says that selflessness should be at the heart of friendship. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. I mean, who has a friendship like that? Have you ever been that type of friend? Come on, be honest with me. Have you ever been the type of friend that would lay down your life for another? Come on. Jesus is teaching here the ultimate act of love in friendship, not even marriage. In friendship is self-sacrifice. Listen, what I'm trying to get at is that, our marriages are falling apart because I don't even think they're built on true friendships. I think we struggle with even having true friendships. So therefore, how can we have true marriages? If our friendships lack self-sacrificing love, then man, that makes sense why the marriages would lack them as well. Come on, I'm taking you somewhere. This verse encourages us to be selfless and serve our friends in love. What a thought. We've grown up and have been grown in a time period where I think this idea of loyalty has been dissipating, undermined, being destroyed, that we just don't trust each other. I'm speaking about the United States. Here in the States, we just don't trust each other. We put locks on our doors, cameras on our doors. We don't trust anybody, anything. We don't trust employers. We don't trust our mamas, our daddies, our aunties, our uncles, our brothers, our sisters. We're just like, man, we don't trust anybody. We expect any and everybody to hurt us. Because selfishness is waxing bolder and grows stronger as time goes on, and the further we get away from the perfect man, from Adam. The more darkness is rolling in because we're getting further and further away from God, and therefore our relationships are a reflection of that selfishness that is just growing and being incubated in the dark heart. And it grows and it grows, and we don't know how to love. We don't know anything about self-sacrifice. We're too afraid. It's all about us all the time. We're not going to put ourselves out there to be hurt. We're not going to make ourselves vulnerable. But I can hear some of you saying right now, but brother G, I don't even have a friend. I don't have friends. Hell, let's start there, brother G. I don't even have friends. Okay. I've got something for you. Right from the owner's manual, Proverbs 18, verse 24. A man that hath friends must show himself friendly. And there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. If you want friends, you have to be friendly. What a thought. What a thought. Simple principle, isn't it? Simple principle for all of those of you that are out here now courting, come on, and trying to find a life partner. We've got something for you too. Oh, the owner's manual hasn't forgotten about you. Ooh, for those of you who are ready to get married, want to start to have a family, maybe trying to do it right this time because you did it wrong in the past. 2 Corinthians 6, verse 14. Watch me now. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. We're talking about being equally yoked in our relationships in 2 Corinthians 6, verse 14. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness? This verse is often cited as the verse encouraging Christians to be married to other Christians. Make sense? Advising the believer to marry fellow believers to ensure shared values of faith and of God. This is a sound principle. This is a sound principle, friends. Can two walk together except they be agreed? How can we manage and operate and run a household, a home, a family, a marriage, if we're going in two different directions? If you believe there is a God and I believe that there is no God. You know, if you believe in church and I don't believe in church, if going to church, if you believe in discipline, I don't believe in discipline. If I believe in saving and you don't believe in saving, like this is going to be a catastrophe. Wouldn't it be wise for us to court someone who has a similar expression of faith as ourselves? I didn't say identical, but a similar expression of faith as ourselves. That you might be a powerhouse for God, that you might be a winsome family. But a lot of times we go chase people of the opposite sex who are the worst thing for us, and we know it, but we don't care. And then we cry and moan about the outcomes. Then we cry and moan about the terrible, disastrous outcomes. But the manual has you covered. God doesn't want you to go down that path. So he says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. And listen, you can go to the same church with the person, be of the same denomination, and still be unequally yoked. Talk to me. Finding a spouse, friends. Finding a spouse. The owner's manual says over in Proverbs 18, verse 22, Proverbs 18, verse 22, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. From Yahweh, friends. The world would have you believe that marriage is a galling yoke. The world would have you believe and instruct you not to get married. It's a trap. And I understand some of the context of that. Like, well, I mean, the court systems are involved and the courts haven't caught up with modern civilization. So don't do it. Listen, friends, the owner's manual says that when you find a godly spouse, a godly woman, men, my brothers, you have found favor with the Lord. Because see, the Bible says that a brother will not take a brother to court. Cannot the church deal with differences? Come on. If we're going to judge angels and also judge the world, can we not judge smaller matters amongst ourselves? A godly person is going to, come on. So you're finding a person who doesn't have the same moral standards and principles of yourself, doesn't live by the same code of conduct and ethics, and then you're wondering why you're hurting. And you're wondering why each relationship keeps failing. Listen, let me say this to you. You first need to get yourself together. You need to decide if you're going to be a person who lives by the owner's manual. Then you can find another person who's also living in subjection to the owner's manual. In other words, you need to determine the type of moral ethics, etc., that you're going to live your life by. And by the grace of God, find another person who's in the same wavelength as you. And you're not going to courts and all this nonsense, and you're staying together. Because you both believe that no man put asunder what God has joined together, because you both believe that. In the depths of your soul. Won't even speak or breathe divorce. Come on. Then there is a section of the owner's manual that deals with commitment and love, and a lot of times we avoid it because the intimacy is so deep, so rich, so vivid, that we shrink back in our attempt at holiness. I'm talking about the Songs of Solomon. You know what I'm saying, friends. Some of us have read the book maybe one time and we left it alone. Like, this is kind of hot and heavy in there, a little steamy in these pages. Little erotic in these pages. Like, what in the world? I'm a holy person, renewed of God. Why is there eroticism? What is this in these pages of the books of the Songs of Solomon? Yes, beloved. Songs of Solomon, chapter 8, verses 6 and 7. Set me as a seal upon your heart. Ooh, this is love, poetry in motion. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm. For love is as strong as death. Jealousy is as cruel as the grave. Its flames are flames of fire, talking about love. A most vehement flame. Many waters cannot quench love, nor can the floods drown it. Ooh-wee. God is love, and my God is a consuming fire. So when you're in love, when you find love, when you choose to love, that love is a consuming fire. It's like two people becoming a phoenix rising out of the ashes. I'm sorry for the weird analogy. I don't believe in Greek mythology or anything, but man, just being consumed in godly love is a consuming fire. Where no one is burned, where no one is harmed, where no one is hurt, but all the defects of the character, all the anger, all the impatience is burned away. Infidelity burned away. Parasites burned away. Parasites, things outside of your marriage that are taking from it and destroying it and never giving anything in return. That is another person, another woman, another male. That is pornography. That is lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, pride of life, right? These things detract from the marriage, but love is a consuming fire that cannot be quenched. And all that is burned up, and the two left in holy matrimony that become one flesh are standing there fireproof, united with God and united with one another in flames of love. The Songs of Solomon portrays the depth, friends, and passion of romantic love, emphasizing its strength and commitment. What a strange word in the ears of modern people today who are of a dating, courting, marrying age. Commitment. Love is strong, friends. Love commits. Ladies, did you hear what I said? I said love commits. Doesn't dilly-dally, doesn't drag his feet. It makes a decision eventually to love you, to protect you, to provide for you, to shelter you, to pour into you, to pour the word of God. It makes the decision. Commitment. All the Songs of Solomon. And then I think about the general relationship principles and wisdom that we can extract from the owner's manual. Humility in relationships. Some of us forget that there needs to be humility in relationships. All our relationships, we need to exercise, practice, exhibit humility. Philippians 2, verses 3 through 4. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others. Humility and selflessness in relationships. Encouraging us to put the needs of others above our own. Wow, friends. How quickly, when you begin to peel back and open up the pages of the owner's manual, do you understand why relationships are in the terrible conditions that they're in? They lack commitment, they lack love, they lack humility, they lack self-sacrifice. Come on. They lack that fiery, vehement heat that cannot be extinguished by gossip or the lies of others or the hate from the outside. These relationships people are forgetting that they must be intentional about guarding their marriages, about guarding their friendships. You have to be intentional, friends. Oh, but the owner's manual will remind you. And then it crescendos. The owner's manual crescendos at this principle of love and places it where it needs to be. And it says, love above all. Love above all. Above everything else. Love. You find it in 1 Corinthians 13. And then over in 1 Peter 4 verse 8, we find these words. Above all, love each other deeply. Not at a surface level. We're just talking about general relationships. The brothers and sisters in Christ, fellow believers, other human beings. Don't just love, but love one another deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. God showed us, Christ showed us, that the greatest act of love was self-sacrifice, and him laying down his life for his friends. And he said, love as I have loved. Friends, love deeply. Don't let fear keep you back from loving. Don't let fear keep you back from loving. You know, the greater the reward, the greater the risk. But man, to experience a love at this level. My wife, when she was alive, man, she knew everything about me. And friends, I knew her to a similar degree. I always feel like women have a different, deeper intuition about their spouse. I don't know if it's because they're mothers. I don't know. Like they really latch on and lock into a man and really get you figured out before I think we figure them out. You know, I feel like they're always like eons ahead of us. It feels like. But I remember in our friendship stage, because my wife and I, we were not in the church. We did not do it correctly. We were not following the ways and the paths of righteousness. But I remember early on in our relationship that we would finish one another's thoughts and one another's sentences. And I thought that was so strange because we were so different. We were two different personalities, two different types. I just said, how is it possible that this young lady that doesn't look like me, talk like me, not from the same ethnic group, background, etc., how could it be that we're like finishing one another's thoughts? And that just deepened and deepened over time. And before I knew it, I had a person that loved me. And I'm gonna be honest with you, friends. I'm not sure that I knew how to even rightly respond to that. As I alluded to earlier, like how to even appreciate, to even cherish that, to even protect that. Because maybe in my mind, I didn't think it was real either. Right? I looked around, saw all these broken relationships. Oh, yeah, this is just, I don't know, it is what it is. But no, this is real love. This is the genuine article. This is it. Somebody who's selflessly worried, giving themselves for me, a sinner. Oh, what should be the response to love, friends? Love is the most important quality in relationships. All relationships. And it has the power to overlook offenses and bring healing and unity. Listener, the owner's manual offers abundant advice on how to nurture healthy, loving, and respectful relationships. It emphasizes love, forgiveness, humility, patience, and selflessness. Whether in marriage, friendship, or general interpersonal relationships, the principles of treating others with kindness and grace reflect God's heart for us to live in harmony with each other. I'm Gordon McGee. This is the No Pillz Podcast, Love Fully Scripted, and I'm signing off, and I will catch you next week by God's grace.